Major illnesses like arthritis, diabetes, obesity, depression, heart disease, stroke, and some cancers can be warded off by cycling. Hiking is a secure, fun, and low-impact method of exercise for people of all ages. Cycling can be readily included in your daily routine by riding your bike to the shop, park, school, or place of employment. But people in Netherlands have many reasons to choose bicycles as their popular transportation. Could you imagine that a country surviving with these sluggish bicycles in this fast-paced world? Yes, Netherlands can. Yes, here is the reason. Welcome back to our channel. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for future interesting videos. In the Netherlands, cycling is a popular form of transportation. Compared to using a car, which is 45% in public transportation, 36% of Dutch people say they use a bicycle the most often to go around on a typical day, 11%. In both urban and rural areas, cycling accounts for 27% of all journeys. Cities like Amsterdam, where this percentage is 38%, and Zwolle, where it's 46%, have even higher rates. This high rate of bicycle use is made possible by good bicycle infrastructure, including cycle lanes, cycle tracks, protected junctions, plenty of bicycle parking, and shorter, more direct riding routes that are typically speedier than vehicle routes. Cycling in the Netherlands on a daily basis. A rising number of routes connect the villages, towns, and cities of the Netherlands throughout the countryside. Some of these paths are part of the Dutch National Cycle Network, a system of routes for bicycle tourism that spans the entire country. Although cycling in the Netherlands gained popularity a little later than it did in the United States and Britain, which saw cycle booms in the 1880s, the Dutch were already constructing roads specifically for cyclists by the 1890s. The Netherlands had the highest per capita bicycle ownership rate in Europe by 1911. In 1940, with an 8 million person population, there was about 4 million bicycles in both ownership and use. During the German occupation, half of these bicycles vanished, but after the war, bicycle use quickly got back to normal and persisted at a high level until 1960. 1,500 kilometers is the average annual distance traveled by bicycle per resident. Then, much as in other industrialized countries, the privately owned motor car became more accessible and hence more widely used, making bicycles less frequent. In other words, ownership remained high, but usage decreased to about 800 miles annually. Nevertheless, compared to other European countries, the proportion of cyclists in the Netherlands was relatively high. The trend away from bicycles and toward motorized transport only started to decline when Dutch citizens came to the streets in the 1970s to protest the high number of child deaths on the road in certain years. When over 500 children were killed in collisions with motor vehicles, to launch a protest movement, Marche van Putten used the slogan "Stop de Kindermoord," which translates to "Stop the Child Murder." The success of this initiative, combined with other events like the 1973-74 oil shortages and the release of the Crowd Design Manual for Bicycle Traffic, led to a change in government policy. The bicycle was seen as essential to make streets safer in towns and cities more habitable, and the country started to restrict the use of motor vehicles in urban areas and shift its focus on expansion towards other modes of transportation. There are numerous reasons why riding is still so common in the Netherlands. Apart from history and social movements, a number of bicycle-friendly elements reinforce one another. Weather, built environment, and geography. The Netherlands is a generally flat and relatively densely populated country, therefore travel times are frequently quick, especially between towns. The Netherlands' temperate climate allows cyclists to ride extremely short distances without becoming overheated. This means that individuals can bicycle to work or school without needing to immediately shower or wash, as they might more frequently in warm, hot, or humid conditions. Bike-friendly infrastructure. There is a continuous network of bike lanes that are well-lit, well-maintained, and clearly assigned, with cycle path intersections that frequently give cyclists the right-of-way. This makes cycling itself easy, enjoyable, and secure. Additionally, the nation has a strong network of bicycle shops. Numerous roads have one or two distinct cycleways next to them or clearly defined cycle lanes. Cycling on the main roadway is prohibited on roads when there are nearby bike lanes or cycle tracks which must be used. A total of 35,000 kilometers of cycle tracks, or around 25% of the 140,000 kilometers of road in the nation, have been physically separated from vehicle traffic. Bicycles and motor cars can coexist in some streets and other roads, but they are typically low-speed roads. These bike lanes' excellent surface quality and their generally direct, mild twists allow for cycling at good speeds over long distances. Cycleways have their own set of regulations and protocols, including lanes, tunnels, and traffic lights. Pedal bikes may or may not be permitted through tunnels and over bridges. If so, there is typically a separate facility. For instance, pedestrians, bikers, and moped riders cannot enter the Western Scheldt Tunnel. They must either take the bus through the tunnel or board the ship at a different point. 3 bus lines that pass under the tunnel transport bicycles and mopeds, in contrast to the great bulk of bus services in the Netherlands. This service has a cost and reservations are advised. When a sidewalk is present, pedestrians use it. If not, they use the same spot on the road as bicycles, on the cycleway or lane if there, or on the road itself. However, in this second scenario, bikers travel on the right and pedestrians should walk on the left. The same roads and tunnels that are open to bikers are open to pedestrians. When a cyclist dismounts and walks the bike, they can use the majority of pedestrian walkways. Environmental sustainability in cycling. The Dutch reduce their environmental impact and support the environment by using bicycles more frequently and less vehicles in public transportation. Cycling dramatically reduces the amount of fossil fuels and energy use per person, which reduces pollution and other environmental harm. The economics of cycling and its implications on health. Cycling helps to prevent about 6,500 fatalities annually, and it also gives Dutch citizens a half-year longer life expectancy. More than 3% of the gross domestic product in the Netherlands is accounted for by health benefits. It is established that long-term investments in bicycle promotional policies will probably have high cost-benefit ratio. Very sluggish bicycles and machinery. The majority of bicycles are sluggish, heavy utility bicycles rather than road and mountain bikes because of the long-standing cycling culture. Though all kinds of bikes from road cycles to recumbents to velomobiles are visible, they're relatively uncommon and are only used by a tiny fraction of Dutch people. The Dutch prefer to ride roadster bicycles like the ubiquitous and infamous Ommefiets, which are practical for the country, low maintenance, and well suited to carrying loads. They also feature mudguards and skirt guards, and the rider is seated upright, making for a comfortable ride for very short distances of no more than 3 to 4 miles, very slowly between 8 and 15 miles per hour, leisurely on flat terrain. Bicycle panniers, baskets, and load-carrying trailers are frequently used to transport items to and from work or school, as well as to return goods to your home. Cycling culture. Dutch culture is symbolized by cycling. Since 1938, it has been regarded as a very patriotic mode of transportation and a national emblem, respectively. The Dutch virtues of independence, self-control, humility, and stability are portrayed through cycling. Tourism in the Netherlands has benefited from cycling because of the country's distinctive cycling culture. Mountain biking and road cycling are almost always looked down upon and derided. In fact, wielrenner is a widely used slur among the Dutch to describe road riders, or wielrenner in Dutch. Separate bike paths parallel to the roadways. When there is adequate room, larger roads are equipped with a parallel bike path, which is physically separated from the road, for example, by a verge, a hedge, or a parking lane. These bike lanes are typically also physically isolated from nearby walkway. When protected bike lanes are present, riders are typically required to use them. Mopeds, mofas, and similar vehicles are permitted and required to use them when their top speed is 25 kilometers per hour or less and they have a blue license plate. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for future videos.